So obviously with the offseason winding down, crazy big or even unexpected stories are going to be a little bit fewer and far between, but don't worry, the content is still going to be coming your guys' way. I still have all kinds of video ideas. I mean, look back over the past year, I've made content consistently throughout the year, so hopefully you guys are here still to, stick around and enjoy this upcoming League of Legends season that I'm personally very, very excited about. And I hope you guys are excited about as well. But today I actually came across a story that was very unexpected. I think is very interesting. I think there is a lot to talk about here regarding 100 Thieves. They had kind of a quieter offseason. I still think they had a very, very good offseason, even if it wasn't as in your face and as exciting or as crazy as even some other teams. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. So definitely make sure you guys do drop a like on this video. I would appreciate it a ton. Helps me out so much. And subscribe. Stay up to date on all my latest content. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and with your guys' help, we can do it. But man, it's gonna be close. So we need all the help we can get. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So, the story I came across today comes from LEC Wooloo. This comes from Broik Seeger. Which is still so funny to see, that is the man behind the LEC Wooloo Twitter account, seeing his face, seeing his name, all that stuff there. Super funny, super just interesting that we've come this far. But the news here is that sources, Dan to coach 100 Thieves League of Legends squad. Dan is taking a break from the top lane to lead the LCS squad. Now, they're in kind of the co-headline or whatever. He says Dan's taking a break. I've also seen other people say he's, retiring to go into coaching. I don't really know if it's like an official retirement or if that's just kind of the term they're using or whatever. But either way, I think this is a very, very interesting story, and I think there's a lot to talk about here. I think it's kind of cool, and I think it's overall a good move for 100 Thieves. Former LDLC.OL top laner Dan Lecomte, which is super funny, Dan, plans to retire from pro play to coach 100 Thieves League of Legends team in 2022. Dan played in top lane for some years in Europe, but most will remember him from his time with Misfits in the LEC in 2020. Last year, Dan played in the LFL France's domestic league with LDLCOL, were similarly to his team with Misfits. They had average results in LDLC, finished 9th during the spring regular season and 5th in summer. So he was in the ERLs. The LFL is one of the top, if not the best ERLs. So the fact that, he finished 9th in spring wasn't that great, but he finished 5th in summer. This is a guy who's had a career in pro play over the last couple of years. He's made it to the LEC. I don't think he was super impressive or super exciting in the LEC. It's kind of why we saw him ended up back in the ERLs, obviously. But overall, this guy, being done with pro play, I don't think, that's a huge shocker. I think it's a huge surprise. Congratulations for him being able to move on to the next stage of his career, starting to get into coaching. I think that's an awesome opportunity for so many people. At the end of the day, there's only so many LEC spots. I don't know exactly how much players are paid in the ERLs, but I would assume for a lot of players, beginning to start that next stage of their career while they're playing in the ERLs or whatever, especially if they've already had an LEC chance and kind of have shown that maybe they're just not quite good enough, or maybe they're going to have to grind super hard or work super hard to make it back. And then even then, if you're not going to be like a star in the LEC, it can be very, very tough. And for everyone, pro play ends eventually. Pro play careers are very, very short. So starting on your next thing, whether it's content creation, coaching, you have a bunch of different options, getting into analysis, getting into commentating, getting into casting, whatever. Super cool for Dan, because again, I don't know when we're going to see him back in the LEC next, if ever. If he did make the LEC, I don't think he was going to have some crazy salary. I don't think he was really expected to pop off or anything. But on the 100 Thieves side of stuff, the only thing is, I don't know how good of a coach he's going to be. That's going to be left to be seen. But I do think it is an interesting pickup, because when you look at this 100 Thieves roster, they didn't make a ton of crazy changes in this past offseason. But what they did do was announce that they're going to be doing a 6-man rotation with Tenacity. So Tenacity and Someday are both going to be, playing with the 100 Thieves LCS team at some point. But another really big announcement that I actually love is that they did say that both of these guys are going to be fully committed to the LCS team, and neither of them is going to be playing in Academy, which I think is great. Having both these guys to get to focus on scrimming, practicing, preparing for the LCS slot is awesome. Not having to focus on Academy, not having to play in Academy, that is something that takes up, a ton of time, effort, energy, all that stuff. It does kind of suck that, neither one of them is going to get a full LCS, scrim schedule or practice schedule or whatever, but it does mean that if Dan comes in as like a top lane positional coach, which I think is what a lot of people expect, he will have time to help out whoever's not playing at the time, whether it be Someday or Tenacity during the week, while the other team's scrimming. They can talk about top lane. They can break down more top lane stuff. Potentially, they can lane against each other, practice against each other, try out builds, try out different champions, different matchups, all this stuff. Also, since Tenacity and Someday are both going to be with the LCS team, that means they have an academy top laner. That is going to be Gamsu. This is another guy that Dan will be able to help out with. That is awesome. That is great. And then what Papa Smithy said was their number one goal of the entire offseason was to sign General Sniper, who I think he's like 15 or 16 years old. He is the 100T next, 100T Academy, whatever, amateur, not Academy, I meant amateur, team. He is their top laner. And obviously that is a very, very young, inexperienced, raw, talented player who is going to need a lot of coaching time and effort. And Dan could potentially help him out as well. Because again, whether or not you thought Dan was that good of a pro or whatever, he still played at the very highest of levels. He has made it to the LEC. He has a wealth of knowledge. He has a wealth of experience that he'll be able to show with these people. And 100 Thieves has 4 top laners signed to their team. That is going to be something they need some help with. So bringing in someone from the outside, especially obviously a guy that they've interviewed with, they've scouted him out, they think he is going to be a good coach, or he's worth listening to. He has some value and some experiences and everything. Being able to share that with all of their 4 top laners who are going to need a ton of time, attention, all of this stuff is very, very cool. And at the end of the day, 100 Thieves has at least 2 guys that are very, very mechanically capable. Tenacity, we saw him in European solo queue just being an absolute monster, being a beast. We've seen General Sniper absolutely just destroying North American solo queue. We know these guys are talented, but they need to be shown how to be pro players. They need to be shown how to be pro players at the highest level. They need to show how to be consistent, how to practice with the intentions, how to use your time, how to be efficient, how to get the very, very best out of your talents. Because we've seen Tenacity, in Academy, he had some kind of interesting plays. I've seen some clips of him, maybe not making the greatest plays, not having the greatest decision making, whatever. And I think Dan will be able to help with that. And I think this is an awesome pickup for 100 Thieves at the end of the day. There was some tweets from other people, Zur saying Dan to 200 Thieves as a coach is good if he goes to positional coaching for top lane to help out Gamsu and Tenacity. Obviously, Gamsu has reached a certain level mechanically, but game-wise, he has a lot to learn, same as Tenacity. And then there was this guy saying that, he thinks he'll be able to help out Sniper if he's going to be there as well, which, again, I totally agree with. I think these guys make some great points. I think other people are excited about this move. Again, this was very, very unexpected. I did not hear any rumblings about this. I think this kind of comes out of nowhere. I think this kind of, throwing off a lot of people, but quietly, 100 Thieves making a lot of moves that I like this offseason. They're the defending LCS champions. They didn't have as crazy or exciting as an offseason as, say, Team Liquid, but I think they're setting themselves up for success going forward, not only into the 2022 LCS season, but going ahead into the future as well. I think Dan will really be able to help guys like Tenacity and Sniper grow a ton over the next couple of years. I think it's an awesome addition to the coaching staff, and props to, Papa Smithy and everybody over at 100 Thieves for making another great move. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about this move for 100 Thieves. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.